The boy in the dark tunnel. In the beginning, there was fear, then panic, then terror. The realization hit him. He was a hostage. He couldn't escape, and those people had bad intentions. How long had it been since he entered the underground? He lost track of time, for time means nothing here. The day is like the night, and nobody tells him anything useful. They only tell him how much they hate him and his people, and they wish they were gone. They told him horrible things that a 15-year-old boy shouldn't hear. He was innocent, and his crime was being in the wrong place at the wrong time. He doesn't remember much of what happened. He was tired of moving around in never-ending tunnels to be held inside a cell, given only enough water and food to keep him alive, but not enough to hinder his hunger. He wanted to believe it was just a nightmare and would wake up like nothing had happened. Neither the abuse nor the stinking smell of the tunnels bothered him anymore. He was a human without feelings or fear. His only hope was that this nightmare would end. It didn't matter how. He no longer cared about life. He just wanted an end to the suffering. From time to time, the silence of the tunnels is disturbed. He feels the shockwave of the bombs. It's not like fireworks. Those bombs have anger, resentment, and hatred. But those are the bombs of his people. They told him a war had broken out to bring him home. With time, bombs began to feel desperate, with no aim other than making noise. 2 years of bombs haven't brought him home. His people were trying to save him by bombing him. He couldn't believe his captors. Sure, there is a mistake. Sometimes, when his mind stops wandering, he remembers a life that has passed away. He remembers the last day of his life when he went to sleep, thinking about everything he would do the next day. For tomorrow, it would be a holiday, and he was excited. Instead, he woke to the sound of an alarm and rockets falling all around. As usual, he huddled with his family in the safe room, waiting for this to end. But this time was different. Things went wrong. The door burst with scary people whom he didn't recognize, and they were armed to the teeth. They took him and separated him from his family. He was brought into the last place he wanted to be, beyond the border he forgot existed. He was taken underground, where he walked for hours, never knowing where or why he was there. He lived that day repeatedly in his mind, because that's the only thing he could do in the darkness. He always asked what he had done wrong and why this happened to him. It's better than thinking about how all of this will end. One day, he was given to a family to stay with. The woman, her 2 daughters, and her young son looked at him weirdly. He was a burden to them. When the light went off, it was tense darkness, and he returned to his apathy. He thought that he was losing his mind. In the darkness, he heard the sound of a famous game he used to play. A dim light from a gaming console illuminated the enemy boy's face in the dark. For the first time, he felt an odd sense of comfort, a comfort born of familiarity. The music was comforting, for it proved to him that some innocence still remained in this harsh world. The enemy boy looked at him in the dark. Fear gripped his heart. The enemy boy approached him and sat down next to him. Then, an argument broke out between the boy and his mom. The shouting got more intense, and then it went quiet. In the darkness, he heard the boy ask, "Do you speak English?" He told him that he did. The boy said in an excited voice that his name was Tahir. When he asked for his name, he replied that his name was Yotam. Tahir asked if he liked to play Mario on his console. He apologized, saying it was an ancient game and he didn't have a better one. Yotam was happy. He liked this game. Tahir and his mum argued when he took the console, but they went quiet. Yotam was afraid to ask, but Tahir quickly answered, "Play, Yotam, please play. Please don't listen to her. Can you believe her? She doesn't want me to talk to the only boy my age. She even promised punishment. How can she punish me? I have nothing to lose except my clothes and this console. I'm bored beyond recognition, and you seem like a nice boy. Tahir sat watching Yotam play. He seemed a normal boy. Tahir said, "They told me all the bad things about your people. But when I saw you, I didn't see a cold-blooded killer. I saw a terrified boy like me." Yotam stopped playing, and he looked at Tahir. He thought to himself, "Are they afraid, like us? Are the enemy humans like us?" Yotam thought long about what he was going to say. He had to weigh his words carefully, or else. This was his chance to get the truth. He asked Tahir if he knew about his parents' fate. Tahir said he didn't know. Yotam thought to himself, of course he wouldn't know. He is a child like me. Why would the adults inform him about this? After all, this is an adult quarrel that has insisted on involving children. Yotam asked how Tahir is doing. Tahir said, "I'm fine. After all, I'm the man of the house, and I have to be brave for my family. That's how it's been since my dad went to heaven. He was selfish, you know. He left us for a better place. He left me one day without saying goodbye, and then his friends took us here. They told us a remarkable thing had happened to him. And I'm now a son of a martyr, and I should be proud. Pride helped at first, but it doesn't substitute for a father. He left me a broken house to be rebuilt. The whole neighborhood needs rebuilding. I need to provide for my mother and sisters, and I had nothing to start with. Not only that, but now my father's legacy will haunt me until my grave, for I'm just a target, even though I have nothing to do with him. And even I disagree with what he did. Nobody cares about what I think. Everybody is guilty around here." Yotam was quiet. Such a burden, such pain. Pain equal to his own, but in a different language. The pain his people told him didn't exist. The truth to my people is only found in their heads. Tahir said, "I could die tomorrow, and nobody cares. There is no law, no humanity is left in this world. For me, the world went crazy." Yotam came closer to Tahir, but didn't have the words to comfort him. Tahir said, "Yotam, you will go home sooner or later, and I will stay here. And I'm afraid I'll become just another number, like all the others." "Yotam, remember me," Tahir cried. Yotam cried, and together they huddled, embracing each other in the dark. Why should those children pay the price of adults' folly? Tahir moved to another tunnel, and Yotam moved to another. One day, only one of them surfaced out of the tunnels. It was a weird day for Yotam. One moment, he was walking in poorly lit tunnels as usual, and the next, he was in a clean car with people who spoke the same language as him. It was surreal to see the world turn like this. Suddenly, soldiers from his country took him to a helicopter, and he flew over the war-torn land. From what he saw, the tunnels seemed more civilized than the flattened neighborhoods he had seen. Life started smiling at Yotam. His family was waiting for him. He felt joy for the first time. It was overwhelming yet distant, for he had returned to a country he no longer knew. He wanted to smell the fresh air, but the stench of hate he smelled in the trenches lingers here too. Life moves, and today's triumph was yesterday's news. He wanted to process what had happened, for he still thought about Tahir, who was still in the tunnels. He remembered Tahir's last words. Would the adults have done it differently? Maybe in another universe, we could be playing in some public park peacefully. That would be wonderful. Yotam thought about these words while he was writing a book about his time in the tunnels. He didn't care what they all thought, for they weren't in the tunnels. How dare people who live in high towers dictate to him the words he wants to write? He wrote a book about what happened, dedicating it to Tahir. However, the adults didn't like his book. They thoroughly disliked it. It didn't serve them whatsoever. What do you think? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for more. Yours, the Counselor, SFTG.